What's up, NFL fans? I'm Emery Hunt, the czar of the playbook, and don't forget to check out and purchase your copy of our latest football game plan book, Stiff Arming Football Myths. We have these available in both PDF and paperback form.
Now let's look at some coaching points for both teams in this ball game, starting with the Indianapolis Colts. And number one, they're going to have to win those matchups on the outside. They're going to have to win one-on-one versus the Broncos wide receivers. They're probably going to see more opportunities than not to make a play on the football, and they have to come away with batted passes and or interceptions, so they have to win those matchups on the outside. And you have to force Peyton Manning to go deep. I don't trust his arm deep down the field, so I would try to take away the short routes by playing up on line of scrimmage, force him to hold the football just a little bit too long, which allows your pressure to get back there, and force him to go down the sideline or over the middle of the field where you guys can make a play on the football. And get luck on the perimeter. That's the one way you can frustrate the pressure that the Broncos will try to bring with their defensive ends. Roll the pocket left or right, get luck on the move. He's an athlete, and if he's taking off a little bit early in the game, that bodes well for them later on, because those defensive ends will be less aggressive and play with more contain as opposed to just getting upfield. And for the Broncos, you have to go aggressive early versus luck. You want to get him to get rid of the football very quickly, so that way you can rally up, make the tackle, and get off the field. Frustrate that offense early by getting aggressive early versus Andrew Luck. And you have to stay alert for the second crosser. When you look at the Colts offense, they run a lot of crossing routes, a lot of over routes, and it's usually the second crosser that Andrew Luck's hit. So the first guy is coming across the field, he's clearing out space for the second crosser that's following right behind him. Stay alert for the second guy, and that's where you can make a play. And understand the situation. A lot of times where T.Y. Hilton is aligned on third and medium, that's where they're going with the football. Understand where he's aligned. Also understand where the tight ends are, because 9 times out of 10, Andrew Luck will try to find the tight ends on third and short, third and medium type situations.
This week versus the Broncos, the Indianapolis Colts will have to find ways to sustain drives. They've done a great job of that all season long. I'm going to show you how they can attack cover 3 versus this Broncos defense. Especially, this is a great play to run on third and short, third and medium, because you're going to read both backers and how they drop. So you have a tight bunch set right here with the tight end dotting the bunch, which is why you have the strong safety here. And he's probably going to try to get a good bump. But what we're doing with the tight end and the guy on the outside of the trips, we're going to run the tight end up into the corner. Again, we're attacking cover 3. So he's going to probably have the corner buzz at the underneath. Wide receiver on the outside running a post. It's going to probably pull the free safety. So you've taken away the corner and the free safety. We're going to try to buzz him here on the cover 3 coverage. Drop, drop, drop. Now, what we're trying to attack is the short area in the middle. And what we're doing on the backside post, we're going to have the back work up and hook down in between the outside backer and the Mike backer. And we're going to have this receiver stem up and hook down. So it depends on how far these guys get into their drops, 1 and 2, determines where Andrew Luck is going to go with the football. If he's higher up, you can get the football here to this back. He can make one miss and perhaps get the first down. If this guy is higher up, trying to replace or get underneath this post going toward the free safety, you want to hit this guy right here with the football. But you're reading both backers. Simple concept. Great way to move the football on third and medium, and that helps them not only sustain drives, but eventually put points up on the board. And they're going to need points to win versus the Broncos, and this is one way they can go about doing so. The Broncos have to find ways to get Andrew Luck on the ground back there in the pocket, but also find ways to create pressure in the passing game. And I'll show you how they can do so by sending both a linebacker and a strong safety strong side. Show you what we're talking about here. Andrew Luck is unique. He tends to hold the football a little bit too long in the pocket, but also has the ability to shake off rushers, which is why you want to put speed back there instead of your big guys like your defensive linemen. So let's show you what we're going to talk about here. We're going to get interior A-gap pressure with the defensive tackles, slant those guys inside. We're going to walk this defensive end out a little bit, contain pressure on the outside. Now where we're going to get creative is with the strong side defensive end. We're going to have him get a good bump on that tight end as if he's going to rush on the outside. He's going to drop back into the curl flat area. Just a zone blitz, because we're sending this backer here right down Main Street, right down the B gap. We're going to have these two backers drop back in coverage. Free safeties dropping back in cover 1. We're manned up on the outside. And as the cadence starts to wind down, we're going to send, you know what, let's do something different. Let's send this backer down the B gap. I'm sorry, C gap. And what we're going to do, we're going to walk this strong safety down. And he's shooting right down the B gap. So now you have both backer and strong safety attacking the offensive tackle and the offensive guard's gap. Two defensive tackles are pinching inside. So now these two offensive linemen will have to make a choice. Now you're going to try to flush Andrew Luck either here or into the pressure. He's not going to run into a blitzing backer and strong safety. He's going to try to escape out of the back door, which is why you have your defensive end walked out just a little bit extra on this down to where he can perhaps make a play in the backfield. This type of blitz is trying to influence a quick throw, a bad throw, to where this guy perhaps can pick it off, or it can be utilized as a run blitz because you have two speed guys going strong side. So this is one way they can attack the defense, the offense of Indianapolis. If I'm the Broncos, I find creative ways to not only get pressure versus the pass, but also find ways to get Andrew Luck on the ground.
Andrew Luck does an outstanding job of reading the safeties and going opposite of where they're aligned. And you see here last week versus Cincinnati, the deep safety is aligned on the near hash, which means it's a great opportunity to go up at the top to T.Y. Hilton for a potential touchdown. Great pre-snap read by Luck and throw, but it was dropped by Hilton. Now in the second example, you'll see a two safety look pre-snap that'll drop down to essentially robber coverage. The deep safety will stay buzzed over the top of the wide receiver at the top, giving Luck the green light to go at the bottom to T.Y. Hilton. Another great read, and this time on the fly by Andrew Luck. Hilton misread the coverage and broke in when he should have broken out, which is why you have an incomplete pass. These are key elements that you see from Luck, and that's important versus the Broncos. His ability to diagnose pre and post snap based on the safety allows him to make decisions and throws with confidence, both of which I believe will be needed versus the Broncos in order to have success on a consistent basis. Here's an example of great free safety play by Raheem Moore. Your job is to stay deeper than the deepest man without declaring too early to his side. Now here, Moore is able to hold court long enough to take away the main option of Derek Carr, which is the seam down the middle of the field. That forces Carr to hold the football too long, which allows for the pressure to get there and put him on the ground. This is an example of what has to happen defensively versus Andrew Luck, who tends to hold the ball a little bit too long and could end up in a lot of success for that Broncos defensive line. The biggest X factor in this ballgame for the Indianapolis Colts will be the play of nose tackle Josh Chapman. Keep an eye on him because I believe how he plays can ultimately determine how well this Colts defense plays as a whole. If he's able to get pressure versus the running game, we know the Broncos love to run an inside zone, a lot of belly plays. If he's able to get pressure, he clogs that up. And also versus the pass, we have to get interior pressure versus Peyton Manning so he can't step up into the pocket. Chapman plays a huge role in that. And if he's able to have a great day, again, it bodes well for this Colts defense as a whole. And for the Broncos, I believe the biggest X factor will be wide receiver Wes Welker and tight end Julius Thomas. Those two guys have to have big days versus this Colts defense in order to create opportunities on the outside for Demaryius Thomas and also Emmanuel Sanders. If Welker and Thomas are having excellent days, it makes them that much tougher to defend. That's why I believe those two guys will play the biggest role in the outcome for this Broncos football team. I like the Broncos in this ballgame. I believe you have to be a multifaceted offense in order to knock off Denver. And right now, we know the Colts can throw the football exceptionally well, but they can't run the ball, and you have to have some semblance of balance. I think what you'll see is that Broncos defense be able to tee off on Andrew Luck and frustrate him all day long to look for the Broncos to move on to the AFC Championship game. And I also want to give a huge shout out to Bronco fan forums and Colt fan forums for always showing football game plan support.